Hi, today I want to give some tips on how to get tyres onto a standard road wheel a bit more easily. A lot of videos out there about this already. There's a few things I've noticed over the years that help and that I tell all my clients when I'm fitting wheels with them. So I'm going to share those today. Standard 700C road wheels. There's a bit of misconception about tyre sizes. You can fit a mountain bike tyre on this. 29 mountain bike tyre is the same ID in a diameter as a 700C road tyre. So anything will fit onto a road wheel. It's what will fit in your bike. Now, generally speaking, most people are running 23s, 25s or 28s on a standard road bike. So if your frame is a more modern frame, generally it's going to be a bit wider and it's going to fit those larger tyre sizes more easily. It's very rare I see a bike that won't allow a 23 or 25, which is 95% of what people ride. So let's keep it simple. Say we're looking at 23 and 25mm tyres. The other main thing where I've seen some errors is valve stem length. It's very critical to get this right, because otherwise you're stuck on the side of the road with a valve that doesn't fit through to the length, so you can actually get the pump attachment onto the end of it. Now this is our 59mm depth rim, and this is an 80mm valve stem. So that happens to fit perfectly. It would fit with a 70, but no companies make 70s. The general sizes are 50mm valve stem lengths, 60mm and 80mm. So an 80mm fits a 59mm or a 60 or even a 70mm depth rim. A 60mm will fit something around, a 50, 55mm depth rim. That's the depth there. And then a 50 will fit, your things like a 38 or a 25. There are smaller lengths as well for more shallow rims. We don't sell those, so I'll just keep to the specifics of what we're looking at. So when I put a tyre onto a rim, we start with just one half of the tyre. So all you want to do, generally I get the valve at my stomach, or for this purpose I'll just put it at the base on my legs here. Then we simply start putting one half of the tyre on. So when I say one half, you've got two beads, left and a right. You're just putting one bead over the rim as such. This is quite simple. Then I spin it round up to here. And then it's very easy to see what I've done there. One half the tyre is on and the other half is open. The reason this is open, we need to put a tube in there. I've seen a lot of people put that on and wonder why they can't get the tube in there. It's quite amusing, but it does happen. So tubes generally will come with a plastic cap on the end. You don't really need that. I don't use them. It's up to you if you want to. No big deal. This thing I do use. This locks down the little lock nut that goes over here. Locks down your valve so it doesn't rattle in the rim. I see people throw these away and not throw the plastic thing away, which is not the way to do it. Keep this, and I'll show you how to lock it down later, and you'll have no rattles. Because I get people ring up going, oh, there's a rattle. And the majority of the times it's that. So it's a really easy fix. So all I'm going to do here now, so you've got half open here, quite simply pull that back, expose the valve hole, put the valve through the valve hole. Now this is the bit where tubes get folded. This bit you want to be careful. Gently pull that over and then get that in nice and straight. Just think about things as you do it. Take your time, relax. You'll have no problems if you just get it in there straight. I'm putting that nice and gently up under the tyre, all the way up under the base here. You can see how easily that went in. There's no reason you can't do that, and especially on the side of the road when the group's waiting for you, if you practice a few times, you're gonna have more friends at the cafe afterwards, or you're gonna be faster in your next race when you can change a tyre, like I can, in under a minute under pressure if necessary. Probably that's exaggerating, maybe two. Regardless, I've seen, some tyre changes take over 20 minutes or more on the side of the road, and then they've punctured it when they've gone to inflate it because it wasn't in correctly. So this really simple stuff, you gotta learn how to do it. So all I've done here, after the valve was put in, I started to push the tyre underneath. Now, once you push the tyre underneath, this valve, it's probably the most problematic area because the tube can get stuck under the bead here. So all you do is simply push this down so the tube is sitting inside the tyre, not under the bead. That's an area where you can have problems. So as you can see, I've gone around the side here and I've pushed both sides and it's getting all the way up to the top here. My tyres are very easy to get on. You're not gonna have any problem with mine. I can just do that with my finger. But for, say this was a tight tyre, all I would do, get to the top here, where it starts to get tight, pin this bit with your thumb to keep the pressure on it. Then go around here, push the bead down into the center, all the way to the bottom of the valve, and buy yourself some room. Then it allows you to push this on much more easily. Go to the other side, repeat the process. Pin this so it doesn't move with your thumb. Simply pushing the bead down into the center, because a clincher hook has a deep section. The deeper the bead is into that section, the more room there is for it to go up. So once that happens, pop the tire clean on there. I go around and give it a bit of a pat, just around the rim, like that. And then I check as I'm doing that, I'm looking to see if there's any tube outside, which there isn't. And then I simply pump the tire up. I run 100 PSI rear, 90 PSI front, and I'm 95 kilograms. I generally run a 23, I think more than that is overkill, but totally up to you. Rock hard tires aren't faster because they don't absorb impact and they don't absorb road imperfections. So you end up bouncing across the road instead of traveling in a straight line. So 100 rear, 90 front, good rule of thumb, but again, up to you. That's just what I ride on. The reason I ride a 25mm rear, 23mm front, I want a bit of comfort in the rear, but I want as most aerodynamic tire on the front as possible. They're also a bit more lighter and you don't have as much weight on the front wheel, so you don't need as much tire on the front. But on the rear, it really helps for puncture protection and comfort and handling. So it works quite well for me. Now you can see I've locked that down quite tight. It won't rattle. Look at when I undo it. Hear that? That's the sound, and that tick, 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 if you ever get that, generally it'll be that, so you lock it up. Now, I'll show you taking a tire off, because this also helps on the side of the road, especially if you've got a tubeless compatible clincher hook. You'll find getting tires on and off very, very hard. Tubeless compatible, it has to have a much higher, tighter bead, seat, should I say, for the bead, because otherwise they won't seal. So if this was tubeless compatible or just a tight clincher, if I went to take this off even with levers, it'd be very tight. All you do is de-seat it. Just like before when I was putting it on to buy yourself room, you go around, de-seat, you'll even hear it pop off the seat, the bead will come off of the tubeless one. And if you do that, you can almost get it off with your fingers, but obviously a lever is helpful. And then you can take your tire off on the side of the road, the group won't be waiting as long. Your fingers will feel a lot better, and just practice it a little bit. It's really gonna help you in races especially. You're gonna feel confident and you're not gonna have a potential blowout or a pinch flat when you don't need to. Thanks a lot.